Subscribe to the MTL World at Mythal World 1 YouTube channel. Swallowed Star 2, Land of Origin. Volume 11, The Xuanhuan Blade Dao. Chapter 402, A New Member of the Eternal Land. 17th of Volume 11. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Editor, Shadow Knight AK. With the practitioners' territory fully reclaimed, the 8 lords finally relaxed. Xingmang, those damaged time-space networks need to be reconfigured, Yuan instructed. It is easy to destroy them, but rebuilding them is far more troublesome, Lord Xingmang said with a rare hint of helplessness. Repairing all the damaged time-space networks will take at least 1,000 epochs. When the practitioners decided to expand their territory, they chose the most densely populated, 3,600 world cluster. This was partly because the immense distances between some world clusters made establishing time-space networks exponentially more difficult. Even though Lord Xingmang have to reconfigure the time-space networks of just a few hundred world clusters, it would still require 1,000 epochs of hard work. Brother Xingmang, you've worked hard. Don't hesitate to ask if you need our help, Luo Feng said. Repairing time-space networks only requires special materials, Wulan chuckled from the side. Xingmang is far wealthier than you, Luo Feng. He hardly needs your assistance. Lord Xingmang shook his head. Actually, there is one very important matter where I do need Luo Feng's help. Oh? Luo Feng asked, intrigued. I'll explain in detail once everything is prepared, Lord Xingmang said with a faint smile. As the foremost expert in time-space manipulation within the infinite Xuanhuan space, he possessed the deepest understanding of its workings. Lord Xingmang also had his own troubles, but none of the other lords could help him. Perhaps when the Luo Feng, who had already comprehended 2 Xuanhuan Daos emerges in the future, he might be able to help him. In the future Lord Xingmang had foreseen, Luo Feng who had comprehended 2 Daos related to life and destruction would possess far greater combat prowess. Alright, just let me know whenever you need any assistance, Luo Feng nodded. He greatly admired Lord Xingmang, whose contributions to the entire practitioner faction are immense. If Lord Xingmang asked for help, Luo Feng would gladly provide it. Lord Jin watched this scene from the side. He and Luo Feng are an exceptional duo. With Luo Feng's support, Lord Jin could use his forbidden technique of burning his main combat clone as if it is an ordinary move, while Luo Feng shielded him from countless dangers. Yet a lingering dissatisfaction kept Lord Jin from speaking up. Luo Feng, if you're willing to help Xingmang, you'll have to help me too in the future, Lord Mo Man said with a smile. Whenever I have time, I'm happy to assist, Luo Feng replied. Lord Mingwang smiled faintly. By now, she understood Luo Feng's nature well, knowing that if she asked, he would undoubtedly help. Lord Jin, Lord Moman, and Lord Mingwang all 3 are perfectly suited to collaborate with Luo Feng. When they worked together, their combined strength could exceed the sum of their individual capabilities. Now, let's focus on rebuilding the territories that were destroyed previously, Yuan said. The lords all nodded. Each of their domains had suffered losses, with varying degrees of destruction during the occupation. The practitioners' territory had entered a period of massive construction, and the entire faction finally returned to peace. The innate Xuanhuan lifeform faction, having suffered heavy losses, and the Ice Peak faction, still reeling from their recent setbacks, dared not to provoke the practitioner faction again. As for the other weaker forces, they were even more reluctant to show their faces. The 3,600 world cluster gradually returned to its usual rhythm. Within an origin world in the Dark World cluster. Inside a sealed cave residence. A single being lived in solitude here. Hold on. I must hold on. A figure huddled there, trembling, his consciousness adrift in countless illusions. This was none other than Palace Master Yuanxiang, the founder of Yulan City. After entrusting the Yulan City to Luo Feng, he dispersed all his external clones and returned to his home origin world to fully resist the encroaching memory pollution. But as time passed, the pollution of his memories grew stronger. He could no longer regain clarity, forever struggling within the illusions. His fierce will to survive still fought on. I refused to give up. Each time he broke free from one illusion, another awaited him. He couldn't even tell if this was reality or an illusion. Ah, I can't tell. I can't distinguish between reality and illusion, Palace Master Yuanxiang groaned in agony. The fact that I know I can't tell means I haven't completely succumbed yet. Palace Master Yuanxiang's consciousness had been deeply polluted, sustained only by his indomitable will. Brother Yuanxiang. Brother Yuanxiang. A voice rang out. Boom. A powerful force shattered the sealed cave residence, and a figure materialized beside Palace Master Yuanxiang. I sent messages, but there was no response. You have even completely lost control of your own cave residence, the figure said, shaking his head as he observed the twisted, trembling palace master Yuanxiang. This is his guide on the path of cultivation, a being who had once comprehended 2 semi-Hunyuan realm Daos. Now, he couldn't even spare a thought to control his own cave residence. He couldn't spare a single thought, completely cut off from the outside world. Brother, you're truly fortunate, the blue-robed figure said, took out a jade bottle. A single, crystalline dewdrop dripped onto Palace Master Yuanxiang's body and was instantly absorbed. The crystalline dewdrop merged with Palace Master Yuanxiang's soul, cleansing it of all impurities and significantly strengthening it. Palace Master Yuanxiang opened his eyes, staring blankly at the familiar scene of his cave residence and the blue-robed man before him. This is reality, he said with unprecedented certainty. He felt better than ever, capable of unleashing the full extent of his peak power. Although the memory contamination persisted, his strengthened soul could now completely suppress it. Brother Du Feng, what happened? Palace Master Yuanxiang asked his fellow clansman and friend. The contamination from a high-level Hunyuan life form should only be countered by breaking free from the cage through my spiritual will. How did I suddenly recover? I even feel my soul has grown much stronger. This is a drop of life dew, bestowed by the great Lord Luo Feng, Du Feng replied with a smile. He instructed me to deliver it to you. This single drop can transform and strengthen your soul, naturally suppressing the contamination. For a lord, resolving memory contamination from a mere high-level Hunyuan life form was trivial. After all, a single drop of life dew, sufficient to nourish the soul, was all it took. Lord Luo Feng also said that if you need to completely resolve the memory pollution, you can visit him in the Dark World Cluster. He will personally remove the memory pollution hidden within your soul, Du Feng said. He also mentioned that once your soul grows stronger, this pollution will not only be harmless but will actually serve as a tempering force. Palace Master Yuanxiang listened in stunned silence. Lord Luo Feng. Since returning to his home origin world, Palace Master Yuanxiang had secluded himself, focusing solely on combating the pollution and remaining unaware of external events. Just recently, a new great lord emerged within our practitioner faction. Lord Luo Feng. Du Feng exclaimed with excitement and pride. Lord Luo Feng, in alliance with Lord Yuan, Lord Jin, and others, completely defeated the innate Hunyuan lifeform faction. We have achieved total victory in this war. The Dark World Cluster, Lord Luo Feng's homeland, has also undergone massive development. The current, Dark Holy Realm, is far more prosperous than before. Lord Luo Feng's true form resides there, attended by over 1,000 high-level Hunyuan lifeforms. World-class Hunyuan lifeforms also frequently visits him as well. Palace Master Yuanxiang was utterly bewildered. Luo Feng, that exceptionally talented young practitioner who resolved the crisis in Yulan City. He's become a lord, the highest tier of existence in the infinite Hunyuan space. Palace Master Yuanxiang knew very well that lords were the supreme beings in the infinite Hunyuan space. Even the Hunyuan ancestors had flaws and could fall, but lords were truly immortal. Luo Feng. A lord. Palace Master Yuanxiang vividly recalled his first encounter with Luo Feng. At that time, he sensed Luo Feng's immense potential, far surpassing that of Palace Master Weiyang and Palace Master Gaitao. Thus, he gifted him 5 billion Hunyuan crystals. As for the subsequent aid to Yulan City, that was because the city faced a life or death crisis, and Luo Feng saved it. It couldn't be considered a true debt of gratitude. The real favor lay in those 5 billion Hunyuan crystals. For the then weak Luo Feng, that support had been transformative. Before that, Luo Feng had been forced to practice impoverished cultivation methods, unable to afford even a reference copy of the Hunyuan lifeform bloodline. Lord Luo Feng said you can visit him in the Dark Holy Realm anytime, Du Feng said enviously. For a weak practitioner trapped within the cage to meet a lord's true form. Such an opportunity was exceedingly rare. I understand, Palace Master Yuanxiang replied. He knew that his single act of kindness had yielded a return 100 million times greater. To gain a favor of a lord. It can only be done when the lord is still weak. Dark World Cluster. Luo Feng gazed into the distance, his vision piercing through countless obstacles to find Palace Master Yuanxiang. He remembered everyone who had shown him kindness along his journey. It's time to visit the Eternal Land. With a thought, Luo Feng projected his consciousness to a region of the Hunyuan void closer to the Eternal Land, where it began to coalesce into and clone. For combat, he would naturally dispatch his main combat clone. Because clones absorbs energy too slowly, restoring one to the strength of his main combat clone would be less efficient than traveling there directly. For simply attending the Eternal Land, an ordinary clone would be suffice. Whoosh. Amidst the floating mountain ranges of the Hunyuan void, Luo Feng's clone materialized, gradually absorbing energy. The clone was exceedingly weak, so it absorbed only a little energy. As time passed, like a snowball rolling downhill, the clone grew stronger, absorbing more and more energy. After about a day's time on Earth, it had accumulated roughly 0.03% of its full energy reserves. It could barely be considered a weak clone, but it was now capable of sweeping through any world-class Hunyuan lifeform. Go to the Eternal Land. Only then did Luo Feng venture to the Eternal Land. He had no choice. The Eternal Land's oppressive force against all outsiders was terrifying. Even with his formidable physical strength and a mere 0.03% energy reserve, he could only be absolutely certain of avoiding being crushed into dust. The area where Luo Feng had condensed his clone was very close to the Eternal Land. Using the shadow force imbued in the blood-colored robe that had materialized around his body, he arrived in moments. Boom. Luo Feng gazed across the vast, flat plain, feeling the immense pressure. His 0.03% energy reserve was equivalent to roughly 3% of Lord Mo Man's total energy reserves. Yet he still felt strained, clearly indicating that this environment was only suitable for Hunyuan ancestor level and lord level lifeforms. At the center of this expansive plain stood a single ancient round table, surrounded by 29 seats. Lord Luo Feng has arrived, a voice from a strange cubic structure echoed in his mind, tinged with goodwill. We've been holding your seat for ages. Why did you wait until today? Kafusho, clad in white battle armor, greeted him with a warm smile. One figure after another materialized. Once a being left their mark on a seat, they could descend with a single thought, no longer suppressed by the Eternal Land. Soon, a full 28 figures manifested. These included the 7 lords from the Practitioner faction, 4 of the 9 sovereigns from the innate Hunyuan lifeform faction, 12 from the Ice Peak faction, and 5 solitary beings. All of them turned their gaze upon Luo Feng. Luo Feng approached his seat, allowing a wisp of his power to seep into it. With a single thought, he refined it. The moment he completed the refinement, Luo Feng sensed the presence of all 28 beings through the Eternal Land. Another companion has joined our ranks, Lord Luo Feng. The strange cube, Moxu, boomed with a voice filled with joy. In the boundless infinite Hunyuan space, only these immortal beings could remain as the eternal chess players. Other Hunyuan ancestors, though powerful, would vanish into nothingness upon their demise. Only these beings are truly eternal. Today, they welcomed their newest companion Lord Luo Feng. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to MTL World at Mittel World 1 YouTube channel.